Hello there and welcome once again to the No Nonsense LTSpice Electronics Simulation playlist. So continuing from where we left off, in this video I want to show you how to define variables or parameters in LTSpice. And I mean, one thing that might surprise you is, okay, what has a graphical user interface like LTSpice got to do with variables? And this is where you get to know that Spice is different from LTSpice. So the actual engine that is powering LTSpice is known as Spice, and it's almost a programming language. Okay, so everything we are doing here graphically, we can actually write sort of code or a script to do the same. What tools like LTSpice is doing is to add a GUI on top of Spice to make it more easier and user friendly. And even after the advantages that GUI gives you, being able to define parameters is still very important. In this video I won't show you why, but in the next video I will show you how you can leverage these parameters to simulate the same circuit for multiple conditions. So for example, I want to know what would happen if R2 was 10k, and what will happen if it was 15k, and what will happen if it was 20k. So this is where you get to use parameters, but for now I'm just going to show you how to define it in this video and how to use it, and in the next I will show you how to use it for more meaningful stuff. So I'm going to close the scope or the plot here, and in here I'm going to click on this .t. It says it helps you to add what? A Spice directive. So even though you have the graphical user interface, you still have the ability to change how the engine has to work. To define a parameter, you start with dot. So you can see I have pressed dot and then param, and then you give the param a name. I'm going to call it R2 val. Okay, so R2 val, and I'm going to set it to 5k. So it's not so interesting here, right? So I just click OK, and I have to put it somewhere. Over here, it doesn't really matter where you put it because it is still captured in whatever is defining the circuit that Spice is going to simulate. But it's important that you place it close to the component that actually uses it. Okay, so over here I said I have some parameter or variable. For those of you who are programmers, I have a variable called R2 val, and it is storing 5k. So what I can do is, in this, for this R2 resistor, instead of showing this 5k here, I can just, if you right click, instead of typing this 5k here, and remember you can right click either just the 5k, which I can type here, or you can right click the component itself. What you see is different, right? So I bring the curly bracket and then I do R2 val. So I mean, again, this is similar to how interpolation is done in languages like Python or even Rust, right? So what I'm saying is the value for this resistance should be fetched from the variable or the parameter that is called R2 val. And because R2 val is equal to 5k, what it means is that this resistor is also going to be 5k. So I click OK, and you don't necessarily have to change anything. I would just want to move this directive down here a bit so that things are clearer, but it doesn't change anything. I can place it anywhere on the circuit and it's still going to achieve the same result. So I can just click on simulate, and nothing really changes here except the fact that I changed the direct assignment of 5k to R2's value to using a parameter. So if I probe here, which is needless, I'm going to see the 2.5 volt showing there. But at least in this video you have seen how to define parameters or variables in LTSpice, and for that matter Spice. In the next, I'm going to show you how you can leverage this parameter feature to simulate the same circuit for different conditions. Thank you very much for watching this, and I will see you in the next video.